Fantasy football is a crazy game sometimes. Crazy
Indeed.
game.
Indeed.
All right, so let's talk about the matchups going into next week and how that's going to play out, right? And we just talked about the standings, how everybody's looking, how their teams are looking. And we'll start with that rematch of the loser bowl from last year, Andrew and
okay.
Edgar. Yeah, let's start there. Let's work our way bottom up.
Okay.
Projected output for Edgar is at 96. Projected output for Andrew, 81. Oof. That is rough sledding. When you're close, when you're in the low 80s at a projection, your team is
not looking
needs
great.
A lot of help. Needs a lot of help.
A lot of single digits on these projections here.
Yes, very much so.
For Andrew.
Edgar's got a few questionable guys. Laporta we talked about. Not that he's done much so far, but he may or may not play. And then Bijan Robinson's questionable against New Orleans, who is kind of, tougher side of run defenses. So I don't know.
Deontay Johnson just popped up on the injury report. Groin injury, non-participant today.
Okay. That could be trouble.
That could be trouble.
That could be trouble because he already has weak enough receivers right now. If he loses that one, does he go back to Coleman? I guess he's got Tim's guy, Quentin Johnston.
Yeah, I never like seeing a guy pop up on the injury report midweek, especially with
something
groin
happened
or
at
a
practice
hamstring.
usually.
Yeah. And then Zay Flowers, who's his number one, is up against Buffalo, who's pretty much shut down wide receivers this year so far. So
they've played great defensively, and he's a receiver on a run-first team too. So that that volume's not going to be there for him.
Yeah, James Conner against Washington. That that could be a
solid matchup.
That's a fruitful matchup for Conner for sure.
Yeah, and Stroud against Jacksonville, right? We just saw what Allen did to Jacksonville.
If they take the same, if they run up the score like Buffalo did, then yeah. But it could be if Jacksonville can't keep it close, maybe they run the ball more. But
looking at these matchups, I'm favoring, as much as it pains me, I'm favoring Edgar in this matchup here. It looks like, unless Montgomery and maybe Evans goes off, he's going to have maybe a huge Lamar game. I think I'm favoring Edgar in this matchup.
Very much so. Now that output's a little extreme, 96 points, but I can.
But
see
he's got some give with Andrew's output being much lower.
Yeah, but I can see Edgar put up a high 80s, 88, 89, and winning comfortably.
Agreed.
Andrew's output of 81. I'll be shocked if he hits the 80 mark with this week roster, right? I mean, because Lamar against Buffalo, that's a tough matchup. Montgomery against Seattle, that's a tough matchup. Michael Pittman against Pittsburgh, tough matchup.
Yeah.
I mean, just tough matchups across the board. So not great.
I'm not sure there's any Michael Pittman matchup I'd feel great about at this point.
Not with Richardson back there.
Yeah. But Evans against Philly.
Potentially strong matchup.
Could be a big game, but he's questionable too. It seems like
it'll take
major.
More than just him.
Yeah. So big rushing game from Lamar maybe. And a big game from Evans could do it, but we'll see. It's not looking great. I think I would give the edge to Edgar as well, but
sweep it.
Oh yeah, there we go. All right, done with that one. Next matchup, Angel and Javi, right? And we had a couple guys already start the week. Angel getting a nice little bump from his number one draft pick of CeeDee Lamb. So the projected scoring output though is 86 for Angel, 90 for Javi. Projected output. Javi did have Devin Singletary playing tonight, and he started him in the flex spot. I'm not a fan of starting a guy in the flex spot that plays on Thursday night. That's just me.
Same. Keep your options open.
100%.
Yeah.
But I do understand why he started Devin Singletary. We talked about how Dallas had just been ran all over by Kamara and Derrick Henry. So that was
a bit of a drop off, but that the thinking is there. Yeah, I can see it.
Yeah, I mean, and Devin Singletary.
After Ramondre got him, was it 3? What did he score against you, Tim? 2 or 3 last week? He has Ramondre on his bench, who might have been his other option.
Ramondre got a -1 last week.
Oh, it ended up being negative? Okay.
Yeah, he lost a fumble.
Okay.
So
And
but
Ramondre's in San Francisco this week. So yeah, I mean, I can understand the benching. I
Yeah.
wouldn't want that at all.
Yeah, agreed. But yeah, he's got Saquon, which at any point can just break off a 70-yard run. Saquon and Gibbs, super solid. I think that was the team you pointed out as your favorite running back duo. Was Hobby's
yeah.
team. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Plus, it'll be interesting to see if he ends up playing Diggs over, maybe DJ Moore, Devontae Adams. He's very volatile. We saw week 1, he got multiple touchdowns and then been a little bit quieter weeks 2 and 3. Against that Jacksonville team, maybe this is the game where he pops off again.
I love Diggs in this matchup this week.
Yeah,
I mean,
okay.
Against Jacksonville, I mean, that 9 points seems low for me. I mean, I understand it, but I can easily see him getting in the end zone a couple times. I mean, this is a game where Diggs wants to pop off, right? Because they're going to they're going to be playing against the Bills soon. Yeah.
Coming up. Okay.
Coming up, right? So he wants to get himself ready for that game.
So would you start him over either Devontae Adams or DJ Moore if you're Hobby in this situation? Because that's, I mean, at this point with Singletary taking up the flex spot, that's who. If you love the matchup, that's who you'd have to start him over.
Yeah, I probably would have DJ Moore if the matchup was against a better defense. I definitely love DJ Moore against the Rams. I think that's a good spot for him to kind of get right, and for Caleb Williams to maybe finally get some space to throw the ball. The Rams are beat up a little bit, and they're in shootouts most of the time.
You saw what Jawan Jennings did to him last week.
Oh yeah. So Devontae Adams, you're not a guy that you see. You don't sit Devontae Adams. So
okay, so you still would bench Diggs out of those three.
Yeah.
Okay.
I understand why Javi started Singletary in that flex spot, but
yeah,
we're getting to see Diggs have a 12 to 15 point output this week. So
I'm sure it was a toss up for him between Diggs and Singletary. I would imagine that was probably the two that he would have considered.
Yeah, a big deal made about that rushing defense that you would kind of lean that way.
But Adams, is questionable. We limited with a hamstring injury, so that might be the only reason you start Diggs over one of them, is if he's still questionable going into the game or ruled out or something. But
yeah.
Javi does have the number one tight end in football.
170 yards will do that for you in one game.
After one game,
last week. Him.
Yeah. And then Aaron Rodgers going up against the Denver defense. They're at home. I'm not expecting him to shred Denver's defense, but
is Love going to be back though? If Love's back, he's playing him over Rodgers. Don't forget he has Love.
I don't think he is. I don't think he's playing Love. Okay. I don't think so. I think he'll stick with Rodgers against Denver because he likes the matchup. I think he likes that matchup more. I think he liked what he saw out of Rodgers. Rodgers is finally getting his feet. That's personally what I would do. I'd start Rodgers in that matchup. I want to see what Love does in his first game back before I'm comfortable putting him back in the starting lineup.
So wait and see.
Especially against Minnesota,
Yeah, exactly.
They just held Houston to 7 points. So Minnesota's defense looks like it's legit. And obviously Darnold's getting a lot of love and Jefferson, but the defense is really the difference for them.
Deal.
Yeah. They held San Francisco scored 17 against them.
I believe so.
And
no one's put up 300 yards total against them at all this season.
Yeah,
so.
I forget who they played week 1 already, but
the Giants? Was that the Giants maybe?
There was Giants.
Yeah. It was. And they manhandled
shut them down.
Yeah. So they've looked pretty legit so far. So I wouldn't blame them for going with Rodgers over Love at least this week.
Mm-hmm.
So
even if Love's active, that's where I go with. On the flip side, that's a good problem to have though, right? If you're Hobby, so he's good in that space. Flip side, Angel definitely taking the dart throw with that Andy Dalton, under. Look at him.
Yeah, liked what he saw last week.
He watched, Angel's a big Raiders fan. He's our resident Raiders fan, and he saw Andy Dalton go into Las Vegas and shred him apart. So he went after the red rifle hard in the paint, I guess, right?
Yeah, I think he had drafted Caleb Williams, and that obviously hasn't worked out. So he's been rotating through QBs ever since.
Caleb is on the waiver wire now. Yes, he was drafted. Okay.
I think he was drafted in maybe the 6th or 7th round, I want to say. Angel took him, and he's already dropped him. I believe after 2 weeks. He dropped him last week.
So maybe we got to implement a rule where if anyone drafted in the first 6 or 7 rounds, you cannot drop, right? Like that, you got to keep them. Imagine.
I would not, because I mean, if someone gets hurt, now you're just stuck with them.
Yeah. Like or only at the quarterback spot, right? If you're drafting a quarterback that high,
maybe it's an extra cost for you.
Yeah. So, but let's see what Andy Dalton does. Andy Dalton does against Cincinnati. Could be a fun game, right? I'm actually looking forward to that game, right? After the first performance, and then Cincinnati 0-3.
After what Jaden Daniels did to him on Monday.
Ooh, my goodness.
Revenge game for Andy Dalton
against
revenge
game. Yeah.
I mean,
up until now, there's been one QB who's thrown for both 300 yards and 3 touchdowns in the same game. Andy Dalton is the only one this year to do it.
The red rifle.
Crazy.
There you go.
That's how bad quarterbacks have been this year so far, too.
That's right. That's right.
Other than Josh Allen, but yeah, that's that. I don't think Washington even punted against Cincinnati. They just had no answer for.
Yeah,
I mean, obviously,
the whole game.
Dalton's not Jaden Daniels. He's not going to run for first downs and all that like he does. But still, Cincinnati's defense did not look good. So that could. I'm hoping it's a shootout because I got Joe Burrow. So
there you go. Yeah. You're hoping for that game. That's right. Yeah. You want the red rifle to go off again. Yeah, let's go.
We do.
Yep. So that Angel, good luck on the dart throw there. Kamara has that's going to be a tough matchup on at Atlanta for that's always a tough game, divisional game. Mm-hmm. Atlanta seems to be better, right? Who knows what I thought they should have beaten the Chiefs, right? I think they got hosed in that game.
Yeah, I would agree with you. Yeah,
they did.
Referee luck at the end.
They 100% did.
Yeah. Considering what happened the week before to the Chiefs in that game, very similar plays, very different outcomes.
Yeah, I think Atlanta might have the best secondary in the league. I mean, those 2 safeties that they got, oh my goodness, those guys fly around the ball, they hit hard. It's awesome to see. So yeah, I don't see Kamara having they projecting 14 points. He might get that, but I won't be surprised if he puts up 10, 19 points.
Yeah.
They're one of the better.
He does have the Bucky Irving piece. We were just talking about Romo and Rachaad White. He did pick up Bucky Irving. It looks like he's going to start him. That's something we had mentioned before.
Yeah, he drafted him.
Did he?
Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
Oh wow. Okay.
It was a late pick. He took him like a couple picks ahead of me, I think, when I was kind of eyeing him. So
okay.
Drafted in the 10th round.
Yeah.
Wow. Right on. Okay.
So, yeah. He's got a few questionable marks there too, but he's got a couple Buccaneers against Philly. So
yeah,
that's the Bucs laid an egg last week. Hopefully their offense comes back this week for him. But yeah, Kamara could have a tough game though. Atlanta's definitely one of the better run defenses as well. So, but nice start with Lamb.
He got a good head start tonight. Yep.
Yeah.
So Angel's definitely looking for answers at the running back position, right? With the Bucky Irving and hoping that kind of pops off, as we talked about before. He still got Zamir White in there in that flex spot. Zamir, quote unquote, Jamir White.
Jamir White.
Jamir White has not had a good season. Last week you expected it to be more production, especially against that Carolina team. I mean, guys, 1 point, 3 points. He has not eclipsed 50-yard rushing in a single game this year.
And there's been a lot more Madison than you would have thought you would have seen. Because the play with White was all volume. Yeah, here you go, Tim. Go for it.
I mean, I think he only played like 20% of the snaps this week. It was in the 20s.
Wow. So yeah, I guess if they're in a negative game script, you can't expect to see him on the field.
And they're probably more likely than not to be in that type of game script. But yeah, I mean, I think I don't even know who their third running back played more snaps than him too. Amir Abdullah, I think.
Abdullah's still in the league.
Yeah, he played his snap percentage was in the 30s. I think Madison played around half. So yeah.
And both guys who can potentially catch the ball compared to Zamir. When you go down to the Panthers, they're going to try and throw to catch back up.
Yeah.
He's not even. I mean, he's a starting running back in the league. And he's not even a candidate for trade. I mean, I don't know who would take him at this point, right? If he packaged him, I think people would be like, "Oh no, I'm staying away from that dude."
Maybe whoever has Devontae or Swift, maybe a Swift for White trade. That's all you can work out. That's not even a good trade.
I don't think
garbage for garbage.
If he drops Zamir White, I don't imagine anyone picking him up. I mean,
Maybe Edgar. He likes the Raiders as well.
I mean, I wouldn't. I can say that for a fact.
Yeah.
For a fact.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Angel
Does have a
definitely
top
has
3 tight end though in Bowers. Bowers has been one of the tight ends who is performing this year, and he is a
Yeah.
rookie, so I don't think a lot of us saw that coming, and he got him fairly late.
Yeah, he drafted him in the 11th round, right after that Bucky Irving
There we
pick.
go.
So
Had to be one of the last tight ends to go.
yeah, 10th, 11th pick, and we're solid for Angel. Good value there. But
Oh yeah.
had a great week 2. Week 3 was down 4 points total, but this week might be a little tougher. Cleveland's defense is much better, so we'll see what happens there. There might be a change of quarterback as well, right? When Aiden O'Connell is going to be behind center now, I think.
Was that officially announced? I know he played some in the game.
They haven't said
No.
it yet.
Okay.
No,
Okay.
I'm pretty sure that Pierce announced Minshew's the starter still.
Oh,
There was
okay.
speculation just
Yeah.
because they just lost to Carolina, but for now it's still Minshew. But who knows? If he has another
Who
bad
knows?
game, could be next week. So
yeah, Uncle Rico could be riding the bench real quick.
and then they
but-
slide in that guy from Super Troopers. I forget his
Barba.
name. But whoever Aiden O'Connell looks like, the guy
yeah.
with the mustache.
Yeah.
Well, I guess a lot of them have mustache.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That guy. Yeah. Anyway.
But at wide receiver, Angel, that's where he's going to make his bread and butter. CeeDee Lamb, great game tonight, 19 points, shredded that Giants defense on that 55-yard touchdown. So those big plays always get good output. Chris Godwin's been outstanding this season, right? I mean, consistency across the board, 15 points, 20 points, 12 points respectively in the last 3 weeks against great defenses in the back-to-back weeks, Detroit and Denver. So
Yeah,
What
Mike
against-
Evans has kind of suffered because of it. Mike
Yep.
Evans has had slow outputs, so it's one or
Mike-
the other, and it's been Godwin.
Mike Evans got the Pat Surtain treatment last week, so
I mean, yeah,
Mhm.
yeah.
I mean
But even week two, he had a down week as well.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that was just Chris Godwin's week. He was playing me. So
Yeah.
that's
That's what it was.
why-
I
that's
didn't recall
why.
that. Okay,
Yeah,
okay,
that's
there we
right.
go.
That's
Godwin
right.
had,
He got the Tim treatment that week.
yeah. Although it was mostly Kamara that really pounded me. But
yeah,
I
there we
think
go.
Godwin got him. He said 20 points. So yeah. But
That was the week I was getting the damn you commish for the schedule change because Angels.
That was the
but that's
beginning of it.
it. Yeah,
Yeah.
You're still getting it.
You're still
Yeah.
getting it.
and it will continue.
Yeah, but so we'll see what Angel does. It's going to be very interesting matchup there, right? It's pretty close, 86 projected versus Hobby's 90. I definitely like Hobby's matchup still in this week compared to Angels. So we'll see how this goes. If I had to pick one, I'm taking Hobby to win this week and continue that winning streak of 4-0.
I mean the live projection has it, now that a couple players have played, now it says
Yep.
92 Angel, 82 Hobby, just because Singletary.
The CD Lamb.
the CD Lamb
Yeah,
and the Singletary.
but yeah, should
I
But
think
I don't-
even despite that, I still would favor Hobby, Saquon, especially if Vita Vea is out on that defensive line for the Bucks. Saquon's projected at 17. We've seen him get 25 plus, 30 plus even last week. So that could be a big Saquon game as well if there's no Vita Vea plugging up the middle of the line over there.
all he's got to do is break a long run too, like he did last week. I think he had a 60-yard touchdown, so that was half his points right there, and he's capable of doing it anytime.
That'll
so,
catch up to CD Lamb right away.
yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
so I'd
yeah.
still favor Hobby in this one, even though Angel's gotten off to a really good head start here.
Mhm. And Jahmyr Gibbs, I think he'll have a good week this week, right? Seattle's pretty stout with the run, but they'll get him out in the space and right because they'll close the box up, they'll tighten it up, stop Montgomery, so they'll give Jahmyr Gibbs out in the flat, get him the ball, and if he has a lot of space.
But I
he'll get
mean,
out.
you can see who's on the field if it's Montgomery or Gibbs, and Montgomery's still getting a lot of carries. I remember going through this last year, and it's so frustrating. It doesn't make sense, but they're winning games. So what can you say? It's clearly working for them, so they're not
It's
going to stop
working.
anytime soon.
No, they have
A lot of
true
Montgomery
committee
still.
in Detroit. Yeah.
Yeah, I think even last week Montgomery got more carries than Gibbs and even more touches. So something to monitor.
They just don't seem to want to give it. I think they don't want to give him too much work and risk injury to
Keep them
him.
fresh
I
in the
think
fourth as well.
Yeah, I think that's got to be part of it. But
Yeah.
so that's but I think Gibbs had a good game last week.
Yeah,
They both did.
They both did.
They
I
both
think, they both have had pretty solid weeks. I want to say last 2 weeks. Yeah,
Yeah,
so
but
we'll see. That is the Monday night
they're
game, so it
committed.
could
They're
be
committed to running the ball. That team, so I like that.
100%. Yeah, but
And they've
that
got
is
a
the
great
Monday
offensive
night game,
line.
so it could come down to maybe a Monday night comeback for Hobby.
Oh yeah, that would be fun. That would be fun
Yeah.
to watch for sure.
Yeah.
All right, so yeah, I'm going Hobby to stay undefeated. What about you two?
I'm despite the head start Angel has, and I'm still leaning Hobby in this one. Monday night comeback, I'm calling it.
Yeah, I would lean Hobby just because I don't know if Angel's going to get a ton of points from his running backs. I definitely see Hobby getting more running back production, even though they only got 3 from Singletary tonight. So
That's still going to output Zamir White. So
Oh, well, yeah, to 3.
unless Angel throws in Gibson there at or Tyler Bidet.
Oh my goodness.
but they
Yeah.
No, that's his
That's
name.
the name
That's his
update.
name.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
the name update. So everybody thought his name was Tyler Badai. No, it is Tyler Bidet.
Correct.
I need a toilet flush sound.
thing. Yeah.
that is the
yeah,
actual
yeah.
pronunciation.
That is the actual.
Seriously?
He told them before
Yeah.
the
Ooh.
game last
Yeah.
game. He
Yeah.
said, "Nope, my name is Tyler Bidet."
True.
That's an interesting correction to make. I think I
Yeah.
would let people call me Beatty or Batty.
You
Bad.
would think so. Yeah.
But hey, it's all
Kind of
good.
makes sense why Angel would pick him up and put him
Hey,
on his
yeah,
roster.
yeah.
Yeah. You know.
Perfect.
Yeah,
He's perfect
kinda
guy for
suits.
Angels.
There you go.
Yes. Yeah, Angels team needs a bidet.
There you go. Angel's toilet bowl of a roster now has a bidet.
Oh, look at Tim's over there busting up. All right.
I mean, this is a guy who just crushed me last week. So like, I can't talk smack about his team, but you guys go right ahead.
You can just enjoy it.
Yeah. All right. Let's talk about the next matchup here. Oh, we'll talk about my matchup against
Okay.
Alex. Yeah. So Alex versus me, both teams at 1 and 2. I'm in the 6th spot, Alex in the 9th spot. Alex projected output 76. I think that's actually lower than Andrew's for the week.
It is indeed
it
lowest projection of the week.
Yep. Mine is just above 90 at 91. So that's good to see. I did have a player playing tonight, Jake Ferguson, which was nice. I would have liked to see another catch, but he was just to get to that 5-point mark. Jake Ferguson's actually been a surprise. So I don't know if you guys tracked what I did with him. So he got hurt in week 1. I dropped him. And I was like, okay,
picked him up last week.
My goal was to always get him back. I was like, please, just somebody don't pick him up, please. So I definitely dropped him, brought him back on the roster, and then I was like, okay, so I got him back for $1, and it was all good. I dropped. I
think you had picked up another tight end and then cut him for Ferguson. Is that correct? Last week?
That's correct. That's exactly
I did track what you did there.
One that you paid for too. I think you paid for a tight end.
I paid $5 for a tight end, and
and then you dropped it the next day. So
wasn't 99. So
it wasn't. It was a tactic though, because I wanted to show how much I was invested in this tight end, so someone could see. Oh, he really wanted him. He really doesn't worry about Ferguson. So I was hoping that.
Boy, you got us all, Manny.
Got us all. I did it. Yeah, matched that really well. But no, he played great last week against Baltimore. Baltimore shredded Dallas at home, but he got a 10-point output, so I was happy about that. But 4 points tonight, 7 receptions for 49 yards. He's been targeted 18 times in the last 2 games. So I love that kind of production for a tight end, right? We wish we'd see
especially
that from
this year.
Like 100%. So happy with that. Our quarterback matchups, we're talking about Jaden Daniels just shredding Cincinnati. That was, even though I lost last week in that tough fashion, because I knew Jamar Chase was gonna just shred apart that Washington defense, but we
all kind of did. Yeah.
We all did. I was screaming at the TV, triple covered that guy. Like, what are you doing? It was, especially the second touchdown. I was like, how do you leave him single covered like that? Come on. It didn't make any sense. But I was really happy with what I saw to Jaden Daniels. He looked poised. He was converting on 3rd and 4th down consistently. He was smiling the whole game. He would look like he was having fun. And it was really cool to see. I mean, he went incomplete only on 2 passes the whole night. He was just damn incredible.
Beautiful last touchdown throw to McLaurin, Scary Terry.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
One of his incompletions was pretty bad, but he made up for it though with the last one. I mean, he overthrew Terry McLaurin, who was wide
By
open.
15 yards.
Yeah, like it was. He threw it out of the back of the end zone, I think, and all he had to do was throw it like to the 5 yard line, and he could have moon danced or moonwalked into the end zone
Right
probably.
in the end zone.
Yeah, it was that. Like
Terry
there
was a
no
little mad
defender.
about it. Yeah, Terry was a
Yeah.
little mad. Yeah.
But I mean that
He got it
that
back.
last touchdown that was a ballsy call and a great catch by McLaurin too. I mean,
Oh yeah.
to get his knee in like that. So yeah, definitely a lot of promise there for Jaden Daniels, but it's I
And
don't
I
know if
love it when
Cincinnati's defense is good.
Cincinnati defense is. We'll see this week, right? They're in Arizona at Arizona. Not saying Arizona's defense is great, but hopefully for a shootout, right? I'm hoping for a big time shootout with Kyler and Marvin Jones putting up some points there. So Jaden's projected to get 21 points. Whenever you see a quarterback projected 20 points or over, that's always like, oh yeah, let's go, fire it up.
Feels good. Yeah.
It feels great.
Yeah.
But
Arizona's
Alex
defense was pretty good last week. I mean, I'm still not sure how good they are, but like it seemed like they kept getting the ball back for Kyler, who just would do nothing with it. But
Run around.
they kept stopping Detroit. I mean, I think Detroit had 20 points, so pretty good performance there. But Jaden Daniels is a different beast with his scrambling, so we'll see. But
And
I hope it's a shootout too, because I got Marvin Harrison, and
Yeah, there
more
you
passing
go.
would be great. So
that's right, Tim. We're looking for 30-point outputs this week. Let's go. But Jalen Hurts going against Tampa Bay. That's a good matchup for him. Right? At Tampa Bay, though.
He doesn't have AJ Brown though. Hurts and Alex actually.
Or Smith, right? I think Devontae Smith's probably going to be out too.
Protocol still too. Yes.
Yeah. So it's likely to miss a week.
I mean, Tampa Bay's defense is decimated though. So I mean, even Bo Nix had a good game against them last week. So
brutal.
Yeah,
we'll
see. But
that's a valid point, Tim. Valid point. I mean, yeah, Bo Nix looked good, but in Tampa, right? They basically went there and ran all over them. Bo Nix ran all over them, right? He did use his legs quite a bit in that game, so that was kind of cool to see. But yeah, Jalen Hurts probably will do the same, run all over the Tampa defense.
A lot of Barkley, a lot of Goddard.
Yep. Goddard. Who is the number one if Brown and Smith are both out?
Who did they just trade for?
Jahan Dotson.
Yeah, that's
Dotson.
Right. Yeah. Dotson and Goddard and Saquon out of the backfield.
Oh, gonna be a lot of Dotson memes this week with and from Jurassic Park. Dotson. no one cares. So a lot of Dotson memes, but all right. But when I'm looking at that, I'm like, okay, yeah, that's a tough matchup. But when I look the next two running back slots, I see DeAndre Swift, which gives me great joy.
Talking about, yeah.
It gives me great joy to see DeAndre Swift in someone's starting lineup that I'm going up against. And then Zach Mott's against Carolina. And DeAndre Swift is actually getting 10 points projection against the Rams, which shocks me.
Same here. I do not foresee him reaching that total.
Yeah, especially if it's a shootout. I mean, the guy hasn't
even if they're at the goal line, they've been using Herbert as their goal line back. So I don't even see Swift getting a goal line carry,
Even Roshan Johnson, I think, got the most snaps in the last game. So I mean, Swift has 37 carries for 68 yards. That is
just not under good. 2 yard efficiency, under 2 yards.
Yeah, it's brutal.
Yeah.
So the 10-point projection I don't get either.
Yeah, Zach Moss is splitting time with Brown back there. I think he's getting 10 to 13 carries per game. So you're really, really hoping that he gets a touchdown. It's very touchdown dependent running back.
He got that late one against Washington because it was on the goal line, right? So he kind of fell into the goal line, so he got lucky there.
Alex needs another one or two of those.
Yep. And then we're talking about the 3 wide receivers I'm going up against: Jacoby,
Darnell
Mooney, and Alan Lazard.
Yeah. So how are you feeling about this matchup, Manny?
Feeling good.
Okay.
Yeah,
I can see why.
Feeling good. Yeah. It's
in fairness to Alex, he is missing 3 of his, top, 4 or 5 picks with Brown, with Waddle's missing 2, but then Pacheco being out definitely hurt his team. So it's not looking very good I would favor Manny here. I mean, what else do we need to talk about with this matchup?
Yeah. I just want to see Josh Jacobs get more touches. I'm a little annoyed by that.
Yeah. Well, isn't Lloyd, is he back or coming back? So is he still going to be splitting time? Get a little bit more now? Marshawn Lloyd.
So no, he's
He's
still
on
on IR
IR.
for 2
Yeah,
more weeks.
Is 2 more weeks? Okay.
Yeah.
But yeah,
So
so
I
I
actually-
think what I'm trying to say, potentially I see him splitting more time going forward.
Yeah. I could see that. I mean, you saw it last week with Emmanuel Wilson. So I did pick up Emmanuel Wilson, right? So what do? When you have such a bell cow back, you pick up his handcuff, right? So
Sounds like you're talking to Andrew.
it sounds like I'm talking to Andrew, but I picked up Emmanuel Wilson, and he actually put up 14 points last week. He had a great game. So I'm still keeping him there. Anything could happen to Josh Jacobs, right? If I lose Josh Jacobs, I got Emmanuel Wilson to pop in as a starting running back, and he's been pretty efficient with his carries. So I'm not going to lose much there. J.K. Dobbins, I don't see having a great game against KC. That'll be a little bit tough matchup, especially if it's backup quarterback in there, whether it's Easton Stick or Heineke. Yep. But I do see Brian Robinson Jr. having a decent game against Arizona because Eckler being out now. So Brian Robinson's going to get 90% of the workload in the game, right? I'd be shocked if he even comes off the field. So that there. I'm firing up Tyreek, even though it makes me want to, vomit in my mouth a little bit right now just because of the situation. But I'm actually going to start Jalen Reed this week. And I'm going to go Jalen Reed because he's been awesome, even with Malik Willis at quarterback. So, well, what do you guys think? So far, Jaden Reed has been one of the top 10 wide receivers in football. What do you guys think of that?
I mean, he had a really good week 1 that's kind of supplementing those fantasy points. If you look at what he did weeks 2 and 3, it hasn't been, top 10, top 15 worthy. But I will say, LaFleur does a great job of scheming him up touches. So they give him the ball out of the backfield. There's these screen passes over the middle he gets, and he's been good running after the catch. It seems some of his catches, there's 5-10 yard gap between him and the next defender. So I would credit LaFleur for doing that. So I can see why you would play him. It is that tough matchup against Minnesota. It would be interesting to see what Flores can do. But LaFleur, I would trust in him. I'd kind of put him with the same level as KOC over there in Minnesota as well, what he can do offensively.
Do you see a big level up for Reed when Love comes back?
Oh, 100%. Yeah. Just that passing game in general is just going to get elevated. I mean, how many passes has Willis thrown versus how many we'll see Love throw? I mean, it's going to be double what Willis's pass attempts are. So just that alone, the volume is going to be much greater.
Yeah. Hats off to LaFleur for making Willis look like an NFL caliber quarterback. I didn't think it would have been possible. So
one of the cuts of overreaction theater or reaction theater from week 1 I had written down was with Love out, Packers will not win a game with Willis's QB, but I had too many. We had to cut it out, and I'm glad I didn't bring that one up because boy,
I would have said massive underreaction to that for sure, and I would have looked like an idiot. So
I would have said massive
so
overreaction.
It's
massive
been impressive.
overreaction.
I think that's because you're a homer, though. Like, you wouldn't have genuinely believed that Malik Willis was good. But I mean, to his credit, he has looked good. But I think that's
when they won games.
So they have a coach who knows how to he knows what his players can do. He knows how to put them in a position to succeed. So, but yeah, Jaden Reed will be better with Love for sure, and especially the next couple weeks against the Rams and the Cardinals. This week, who knows? If Love even plays or not. Could be a tough week against Minnesota either way, whoever's playing quarterback. But
I am teetering on Calvin Ridley against Miami, but he'll see Jalen Ramsey in that matchup, and I'm still having the EBGBs from his quarterback. I mean, so it might be a game time decision for me on there.
Hopkins is back to maybe, he had a decent game last week, so maybe he'll draw some attention. But I don't know if that's good or bad for Ridley. Hard to say. Still got Will Levis throwing on the ball. So
who would you guys go with, Reed or Calvin Ridley?
Ooh, that's what's Reed's questionable tag for?
He had it last week too. Calf and shin injury. Yeah.
Man, it's a tough call.
I think I'm still going Ridley just because Miami's offense did not look very good back there. And so it seemed like, who was it, Buffalo that always had the ball? No, that was 2 weeks ago. Whoever Miami played last week, it seemed like their offense rarely had the ball. And so I could see Tennessee's defense really taking it to them, stopping them, and that just gives their offense more and more chances. I could see Ridley getting maybe one long one and just having more opportunities at it. Especially if Willis is the starter. If Love's starting, I would go Reed. If it's Willis, I would lean Ridley.
Yeah, kind of the same. Yeah, because like Cody said, they haven't thrown the ball very much with Willis. He might have thrown the ball a little bit more last week than the week before, but
Oh, definitely. Yeah.
still,
I mean, how many running was it? What 40 carries for Jacobs in that week 2 game?
yeah, I mean they had it was like 53 runs and 14 passes or something like that against the Colts. But
clearly they've won the 2 games, so they haven't really needed to throw the ball that much.
Exactly. So but with Love playing, I go Reed. But if he's out again, then I think
I would go Ridley.
Definitely lean Ridley. Yeah.
Guess I'm going Ridley. All right, I like it.
Hey,
guys.
you're the Packer fan. It's your team. You
I know,
take the
I
advice,
know.
but you're the one who makes the choice.
Yeah, don't listen to us. That's just
No, I love it.
Why
Good
would you?
breakdown.
Why would you listen to
Why
one of
would
the 2 of us?
Good call. All right, let's talk about next matchup.